Hi there, I am the Reverend Danny Crosby, a Unitarian minister serving congregations in Altrincham and in Urmston in the northwest of England. And I offer this devotion as a balm for the heart, for the mind, for the spirit, and for the soul. And it's titled Snowdrops of Hope, Journeying from Winter to Spring. And I'm going to begin with a retelling, actually, of a classic Aesop's tale. This version, though, approaches the tale from a different angle, if you like, offering an alternative perspective on the traditional telling of the story and perhaps suggesting a different meaning than the usual interpretation. Probably not what Aesop wanted, but hey, sometimes it's good to look at things from a different angle, is it not? So this is a version of the hare and the tortoise. Now, one of life's great debates, is it tortoise or tortoise? Well, I was once told, and so this is how I said it as a kid, that according to Lewis Carroll anyway, he said this is how you know, because it was the tortoise that taught us. So I'm going to pronounce it tortoise. You may pronounce it tortoise. You are entitled to your perspective. So this is the hare and the tortoise. So once upon a time there was a hare and a tortoise. The hare liked to run and jump and roll in the flowers. The tortoise stuck to the ground, looking always to the front, never to the left, never to the right. One day the tortoise began to argue with the hare. You have no direction. You are aimless. You are wasting your life. The tortoise said, so the tortoise said to the hare. The hare just chewed on a dandelion to see what it was like. Whereas I, on the other claw, the tortoise continued, I have purpose, I have drive, I have ambition. At which point the hare began to do backward somersaults, just for the fun of it. The tortoise continued. In fact, he started to get rather angry at the silly hare. I can prove it, he said. We will race through the wood to the river. The first one onto the bridge is the winner. And so that is how the race began. All the other animals gathered to watch, and the crow, who was a bird and could fly, agreed to be the invigilator. When all was ready, the squirrel opened a nut as a starting signal. Crack. The race was on. The hare was into the wood in a couple of bounds. The tortoise moved slowly forward, looking always to the front, never to the left, never to the right. Focused. The hare ran halfway through the wood. Then the hare stopped to watch a cobweb dancing in a patch of sunlight. The sound of music drifted by on the breeze. The hare hopped off to investigate. The hare loved music. Music always reminded the hare of food. The hare began looking for some baby grass shoots to nibble. The tortoise continued, always looking to the front, never to the left, never to the right. The hare found an old hollow log covered in toadstools. It made a great hideaway, and for a while the hare hid in it, imagining that the fox was outside. After that, it felt good to jump and to stretch and to stretch and to jump a little some more, just for the fun of it. It felt great to be alive. The tortoise plodded on, looking straight ahead. To the left, there was a wild raspberry bush, so heavy with fruit that its top was brushing the ground. To the right, a fledgling fell from its nest to lie helpless, caught in some undergrowth. The tortoise noticed neither. After the jumping and the stretching, the hare felt a little hot and thirsty. So the hare ran down to the river and had a nice, long, cool, refreshing drink. Then, finding a shady spot, the hare settled down for a nap. The tortoise left the wood and neared the bridge, looking never to the left, never to the right. The tortoise reached the bridge, looking never to the left, never to the right. The hare woke up. The tortoise crawled on to the bridge, triumphant. The crow reported to the animals at the starting line that the tortoise had won. Some of them cheered, and then they all went about their business. It was yesterday's news. When it got dark, there was no one to see the hare as he climbed up carefully from under the bridge and went home. The moon, though, the moon shone, and the moon was very beautiful. So while it is certainly true that the tortoise won the race, which one do you think experienced the journey fully? Which one do you think? You decide. Sometimes it's nice to turn truth upside down like the somersaulting hare. To look at things from an entirely different angle. Why are we here indeed? Is it all about reaching the goal? Maybe the journey is the gift itself. I went for a walk with a friend and our dogs down to Dunamassy on Monday. There were a few obstacles thrown in our way that seemed to be blocking us on the day, but we got there in the end. It was much needed. It was lovely to walk and talk side by side. It is one of my great pleasures to saunter with another, talking and listening and sharing the natural beauty, just being alive in everything. We grew up in the same part of the world at around the same time, so there were many things about our lives to share. It was lovely to share these memories, actually. Different memories. We didn't know each other, but shared communal memories. We talked about our lives and our spiritual journeys. There was much laughter. It was lovely, actually, and we passed many folk along the way, occasionally stopping and saying hello. It was also interesting to see the two dogs' personalities at play. Molly, always curious and discovering new things, wanting to go off all over the place. My friend's dog, Holly, which she did tell me would never really move from her side. Just happy to be there. It was lovely, actually. Now we were walking and deep in conversation. I was listening, but suddenly I was distracted by an unexpected sight, you might say, in front of us. There was a couple with and they were one of the park rangers actually was chatting with them, and with them were 6 white ferrets, not something you'd expect to see in the park in Cheshire. They were on leads or they were in bags. 3 were in a bag, I think, and 3 were on leads. Molly was fascinated. She didn't bark, but she was fascinated and wanted to have a good sniff and a good look. She was just curious. Now, thankfully, neither of these two people were ferret legging. That's not something you would do or see in Cheshire, only in Yorkshire, really. Crazy pastime that folk used to do. It was very popular in the 70s again, actually. But we talked with them for a while and then we journeyed on. We sauntered on round and round, and it was just what I needed that day. I think we both needed it before returning to our respective lives. I love to journey with others. You never know what will open up to you in any given day. And I found that the key is not so much where you're going, but how you journey. And of course, who you journey with. That's often the key. Remembering, of course, that journey means what you do or where you travel in one day. To journey means literally that. Derived from the Latin word diurnum, meaning your daily portion, and from the old French word journée, which literally meant a day's work or a day's travel. From this word, we get the word journey. So you can't really call it a daily journey because to journey is to do something in a day. But we often do talk about the daily journey, don't we? I love this truth. It makes me smile so broadly. We all live one day at a time. This is the beautiful journey of life. Beautiful, but sometimes heartbreakingly painful. Can have that in the same day, actually. You just don't know what you are stepping into when you journey out each and every day. Monday was a beautiful journey. As I reflected that evening, I was taken on many journeys throughout my life as I connected and reconnected with many days and many folk that I have journeyed with throughout my life. I connected my present to the past, and it filled my heart with hope for the journeys I will wander onto into the future. It brought faith and hope and love alive in me. These three things really that call me out each and every day: faith and hope and love. These three. The greatest, of course, is love. Monday, of course, you may not know this, was the 3rd of February. You may have forgotten this, which is a very special day on the calendar. It's very on the journey on the calendar. Each day full of a journey on that calendar. Do you know what special day it was? Well, the 3rd of February, which was last Monday, is of course Elmo's Day. Maybe one or two would know that. And Elmo is a wonderful and loving character from the children's television programme, educational to a great degree. Lovely thing from my childhood, which I think still probably goes on, from Sesame Street. And you know, we should all be more like Elmo. Elmo is probably best known for this following little aphorism. Not that he would call it that, of course, which goes something like this. Elmo thinks it's important to be kind because if you're kind to somebody, then they'll be kind to somebody. And it goes on and on and on. Maybe that's how we should all travel, in kindness and love, eh? Surely this is how we ought to journey with one another. I know it might sound a bit radical, that in this day and age. So be it. Don't think it is, you know. There's nothing new in it. Be kind, be loving, be respectful. Acknowledge the divine in each and every person you meet, in all life that you greet. And in so doing, you will make life a beautiful journey. So what are you going to do on your journey? What are you going to do with this day? Last weekend was many end of winter festivals, really. St. Bridget's Day, Candlemas, Imbolc, and of course, last Sunday, Groundhog Day, which is connected to all three of those, actually. It's considered the 2nd of February as the beginning of spring, the true end of Christmas, really, the Christmas season, which begins on Christmas Eve. And I've certainly been seeing many snowdrops, particularly around the great trees. I saw several on Monday. I love how these tiny, delicate little flowers stand out at the base of these great, enormous trees that are always there, and the snowdrops just appear briefly, and then they go. And so, we've journeyed through another winter, or it seems like we have. Although, actually, unfortunately, Groundhog Day itself does not agree. Bad news, sadly. Puxatawny Phil, the groundhog, saw his shadow on Sunday. And this means, according to the tradition, that we've got 6 more weeks of winter. Or at least they have in Pennsylvania anyway, maybe not here. So winter might last a little longer this year. We shall see. But despite all this, as we walked round Dunham Massey, it felt like spring was in the air, and those snowdrops were beautiful little silver buds of hope all around. Their snowdrops are everywhere. The snowdrop is considered a symbol of hope. I don't know if you know that. Legend has it that they appeared as such after Adam and Eve were expelled from Eden. So the legend goes that's developed around them. It seems, as the story goes, that Eve was about to give up hope that the winter would never end. But an angel appeared and transformed some snowflakes into the flower that is the snowdrop, showing that the winter will eventually come to an end. And the flower, the snowdrop, is linked to the purification associated with Candlemas, the end of Christmas. As the old rhyme goes, the snowdrop in purest white array first rears her head on Candlemas Day. The end of winter or not, we get to journey on. We journey on together and we journey on in hope. I have certainly felt faith and hope and above all love in my heart, despite some real troubles and concerns that have been heavy on my heart, but I still felt these other feelings too. Living with both, I guess, this is real life. And I was part of a wonderful celebration of 50 years of recovery taking place in a small schoolroom at Sylvan Grove this Wednesday night. And it brought to my mind as I shared and reflected and was just part of a great gathering of people. It brought to my mind so many lives that I have journeyed with these past years. It brought to my heart thoughts of those who came before me and those who will journey on when I'm gone day by day. There was so much faith and hope, but above all, there was so much love. It filled my heart. It filled my heart. And as those folk know, there are times when we have to trudge as we journey, when we have to hanker down, but we don't have to do so facing the ground or facing focus purely on where we're going. Yeah, you have to work and hanker down, but you can still have your eyes and your senses wide open. And it's interesting, actually. This winter, I learned the true origin of the word trudge. It's a Scandinavian word, Scandinavian origin, which actually meant to walk in snowshoes. So it depicts labour, work actually, and a faith and hope and love in that labour to keep on going, which is needed in the winter months, of course, especially in Scandinavia. So we need to journey on, but not with our heads down or our heads just purely focused on the goal. We can journey on, we can trudge on, and at the same time, we can also saunter. Saunter is a word of disputed origin, with a rather beautiful and joyful image that apparently, some say, depicts the idea of a holy journey, those saunterers on a chanter terre to the Holy Land. Some say that that's the origin, that they were travellers on the Holy Land to saunter. I don't know if that's true or not. Somebody just made it up. Who knows? These words are fascinations. They grow from something. But the key is to journey. But to do so joyfully, taking in all of life in wonderful company, sharing with others, taking in all that is life. Because you'll be amazed what you experience, provided you're not purely just focused on the goal ahead, facing forward or head down. You have to be alive to it all. You have to enjoy the journey, for it is beautiful. Remember, to journey is what we do in a day. Sometimes the biggest mistake we make is that we continue journeying on, head down, focused, not looking at life around us, too focused on the goal, the perceived goal. And I'm sure this is due to fear that if we don't keep on moving forward, that we'll somehow get lost or that our troubles might overwhelm us, catch up with us, if we saunter too much. But I don't think it's healthy to be focused on the perceived goal. In fact, it can cause real problems for us and others. The ends don't always justify the means. The means are the ends in themselves. It matters how we travel. In some ways, just marching on ever forward you can just become lost in yourself, in the sense that we lose who we are at the core of ourselves, that sense of belonging here in life as we actually are, wanted, needed, and truly loved as we actually are. It brings to mind a rather beautiful poem by David Waggoner, the poem Lost. Lost by David Waggoner. Stand still. The trees ahead and bushes beside you are not lost. Wherever you are is called here, and you must treat it as a powerful stranger, must ask permission to know it and to be known. The forest breathes. Listen. It answers, I have made this place around you. If you leave it, you may come back again, saying here. No two trees are the same to raven, no two branches are the same to wren. If what a tree or a bush does is lost on you, you are surely lost. Stand still. The forest knows where you are. You must let it find you. You must let it find you. And I think it means your heart and your soul. It will find you if you're awake to it, if you saunter through it, if you enjoy the beautiful journey. It is so vital to pause, to take in life, in this life that we lead, to enjoy this life, to sing the joy of living in all its mystery. Maybe it's better to be the hare and not the tortoise. Now, no one is ever truly lost, provided you maintain a faith in life and in love and live in hope, like the snowdrop, like the spring that always follows winter. It matters what sustains us, what holds us through life, what calls us out to journey on, what daily bread we take for the journey. I'm thinking of Mark's gospel here and the rich young man who could not follow Jesus. And the reason he could not follow what he wanted to follow, like this love, was that really he loved finite things too much. A repeated message throughout the gospel accounts, actually, this idea that you can't serve two masters. And maybe sometimes our master, our God, you can follow the wrong one home, you know. Maybe sometimes our goal, our God, our master is this perceived goal that we're aiming for, this some place over the rainbow, some nirvana or promised land. So much so that we don't get to experience all that is life itself. And in so doing, we fail to live by love, and eventually we lose faith and hope. And then we don't live at all, or don't want to. How many get lost there? Probably all of us at some point, certainly me. Throughout our journeys, we pass through many stages of our lives, and looking back, no doubt we can see many different staging posts of our lives, places that we've passed through where things have happened. And I was reflecting on this after my walk with my friend on Monday evening. I was reliving so many staging posts, so many folk that I have both sauntered with and trudged with at times, that we've journeyed on side by side together. And as I remembered many who aren't here anymore, my heart was filled with love, a love that's carried me through some challenges this week. You know, we folk wandering around the parks or wandering around life or journeying on in whatever ways we do are no different. The people who live today, our world might be different, but humanity is no different. The journeyers are no different. We saunter and we trudge. We're no different to the ancient characters in the ancient stories and their different examples of their great journeys, those holy journeys, the heroic journey, the hero's journey that Joseph Campbell talked about, those pilgrims, those journeyers, Odysseus. He's a great example. In his meditation, The Spiritual Journey, David O. Rankin names a few who have walked courageously through there, who have journeyed, these pilgrims, that are no different to us. They may be their stories are more dramatic, but they're just stories. But deep down, it's the same thing as us walking through this life. But he writes, it is Moses leading the Jews through the desert of Sinai, and Jesus enduring the temptation in the wilderness of Israel, and Buddha seeking enlightenment along the dusty roads of India. It is the glorious voyage of Odysseus in Homer's Odyssey, the narrow paths through the circles of hell in Dante's Inferno, and the confessions of the travellers in Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. It is the pilgrims sailing on the Mayflower, the settlers moving westward, being on the road with Jack Kerouac and spinning through a black hole in Kubrick's 2001, A Space Odyssey. We are all of us pilgrims on the sacred journey that is life. And like so many of the more famous and infamous ones, we think we have to go someplace else to discover our nirvana or to build the new Jerusalem. It's somewhere over the rainbow, just as the pilgrims on the Mayflower did in the 17th century, going to the new land, the new world. They believed that they had to travel a great distance to a new land to create their own heaven on earth. They were focused on some perceived destination, some place that they had to get to no matter what consequences. That the ends justified the means. How much horror has been done justified by that phrase? I have discovered it's not necessary. In fact, if we're just focused on the goal, we may fail to experience the gift that is life itself. You do not have to travel great distances to experience the beautiful journey. And you do not need to travel to some other land to build the new Jerusalem. For if it's not here, in our own hearts, in our own lives, then it is nowhere. That kingdom of love, where all are kin, where no one is stranger, and no one is foreigner, and no one is rejected. That must be built here, in our land, in our hearts, or built nowhere. If it's not here, it is nowhere. It cannot be built. But it has to be built in our hearts, and our minds, and our spirits, by our spirits, and in our souls, here or nowhere. And I suspect it's the same about finding ourselves once again when we feel lost. We just need to be here, for we're not lost. Look around, look within, and listen to that voice within, and that's of those, the voice of those that journeyed on. Don't walk on, head down or head just focused on some perceived goal. Look up. Look all around, look left, look right, look everywhere. Wake up, be awake, awaken. Look for the light that shines bright, that spark of the divine that is within everything. That which awakens the sense of my senses, that makes me feel alive, that enables all of us to journey on. That which allows us to feel at home wherever our feet are planted. That kingdom of love that is within us, that's within each and every one of us, that's within everything at the heart of life. The material life must be born from this. It's this that I worship. I'll celebrate God, but I'll worship life. So let love be our navigator, for it will always lead us home to the place where we belong. Enjoy the gift that is the beautiful journey, wherever it may lead. Enjoy the journey. It is the gift this day, this day, this day. So I'm going to end this devotion with some words of blessing, for we need to bless more. We can all bless. We bless by giving ourselves wholeheartedly to life. May you know that you belong, that wherever you find yourself in this world, that you belong. May you know that you belong as you are, exactly as you are in this moment. Look around you. You are not lost. You are a welcome guest in this life. You belong here. And in so doing, extend that sense of belonging to all you meet. Invite them to come as they are, to journey on with you exactly as they are, in whatever time and place they may find themselves. Make the stranger your friend. Welcome the stranger. Invite them to journey with you, to saunter on, and sometimes to trudge. And may we carry this vision of love with us, of a loving welcome, welcoming the stranger as a friend. May we carry this vision of love with us, the love of one another, the love of life, the love of God. And may we carry this love with us in all that we feel, in all that we think, in all that we say, in all that we do. Go in love, go in peace. Amen.